Hello, this is JOEDRUMS coming to you. Today the topic's going to be about metronomes and drum machines. I had quite a few requests to do a video on this. Still being around the holidays, plus it was on my top 10 list. I figured we'd talk about what kind of metronome or drum machine is right for you. So we'll go over a lot of the different areas of the drum machine and the metronomes, and we'll kind of talk about what options and features each one has and what's better for you when you go out and buy one. You don't necessarily always have to buy the most expensive one to get, all the bells and whistles out of a metronome nowadays. Back in the day, the old metronomes would just kind of click back and forth. You'd use it would be a wooden case, and it would have a needle. You pull it out, and you would adjust this kind of weight that's on the actual needle. And the farther up you would go, the slower it would go, and the farther down you would go, it would be clicking faster, and it actually have some numbers on the actual dial. But again, for drummers, that was great for piano players, but for drummers, there's no way to hear it. So they came out with electronic drum machines and metronomes available, and it's great because for drummers you can plug in, you can have headphones, you can plug it into a stereo or some type of amplifier and get the volume way up there so that you can practice along with it with the drums. All the metronomes that I'm going to be talking about right here have that option. They have the headphone or earphone jack where you can plug in for them. So we'll go through these one by one, and right now probably the best one on the market for the price, this is about like between 30 and 40 bucks, is this KORG metronome. It's the MA30, and I'll go into a little more detail about that one. Also, Boss makes a real nice one called Dr. Beat DB. It's called the DB88. Again, it has some nice features on this as well that I'll go over. And then I have an old Boss one that I don't know if you can still, you might be able to still get this if you find it on eBay or something, but it's called the DB66. In fact, maybe even musicians' friends still might even have this online. I haven't checked, but I've had this for years. I bought this back in like 79, 80. And I think I got it for like 160, maybe 170 bucks. And right now I think it's come down in price because obviously there's new models that come out, so it brings the price of the old one down. But I've had this one all the way through college when I was going to a private college with the jazz band, and I needed this for tempos and stuff like that. So this is a real good one. And then there's other types of drum machines. I really like the Boss, the Roland products. This is called the DR880 Dr. Rhythm. I like this feature, and one of the nicest features about this one that metronomes don't have, but some of the drum machines out there do, is they have a spot for input for guitar or bass. So that's kind of a nice feature on this that none of the other ones do. And you can still buy a drum machine without this option if you don't want to have that, if you don't play guitar or bass. You don't necessarily have to use it, but I like this because it had both options in it. So anyway, we'll kind of get down to details and talk about what each one of these do and why we use these. Okay? All right, here we go. Okay, the first one here that you see, it's the KORG, and what it is, it has an on and off switch. It has a tempo, beat, tap button, the sound note, and the calibration, mute, and then you have the tap in, and you can either use either one of these buttons to tap in the tempo. I'll turn it on right now, and as you can see, I've got it set right now. It says 120. That number means 120 beats per minute. If I was actually to count for one full minute with a stopwatch and count each one of these clicks, in 1 minute I would have 120 beats. That's what that means. So what you have over here, this beat 0 actually represents how many beats in each measure you're dealing with. So if I went to a 4, that would mean I would count up to 4 and you would hear 4 clicks, and the first one would sound a little different because that lets you know where 1 is. So I'll turn it on, and here's what it would sound like. So you can hear where 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a really nice feature. You can go 5, 6, 7. Then it starts getting into these littler notes. It's kind of hard to see on here, but really what that is a little 2 eighth notes. And now I can change the metronome into sounding like eighth notes when I play. and then it gives me the option to do triplets. And then the first part of the triplet and the last part of the triplet, which means the 1 and the So if I was counting, it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Here's what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then of course 16th notes. And again, remember, we're still at 80 beats a minute, but we're hearing what the 16th notes sound like at that particular interval. So 80 beats a minute, you're hearing 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, to give you an example of that last song I just did by Iron Maiden, that was actually 172 beats a minute. So if I went up to that right now and hit it at 172, this is how fast the hi-hats were playing at 172. Okay. Alright, and then the other thing is it has a built-in tuner. It's actually an audible tuner where you can hear like the A440. So everything, you know, if you're tuning the guitar or bass, you just start with this note A, and it would actually give you that tone. And then you have the mute button. Obviously that's for muting the sound, so you would just be able to see visually what you wanted instead of audibly. And that's pretty much it. And then this is your up and down. So that's pretty much the KORG MA30 in a nutshell. Okay, this one here, Dr. Beat DB88, basically has all the features that the other one has, but it actually has them on sliders. So quarter notes are here, eighth notes are here, 16th notes, and then triplets. So here's what this one sounds like. Here's the quarter note. Notice it kind of already automatically has that beat count in it, so it lets you know where 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going. Now if I wanted to hear what eighth notes sound like, right at the touch, all I got to do is slide this one up, and there's my eighth notes. If I want to hear what 16ths, I will slide this one up, and there's 16th notes at 120 beats a minute. Now if I wanted to hear triplets, I would have to turn the 8th note and the 16th note ones down just to hear the true triplet sound, and here's what this sounds like. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Now the nice thing about this is the DB88 has a dial on it, and you can really go pinpoint whatever beat per minute you want to go at. If you want to do 70, there's 70. You just turn the dial. Now, the other thing that the DB88 has is you can change the voice of it. So right now we have more of like a click sound. If I wanted to change that to make it sound more of like a thump, here's what this would sound like. And here's a real funny one. This is kind of nice too. If you can take it, after a while, like, she kind of gets on my nerves. But there's like a little built-in Chinese lady in this box, and she likes to count along with me. So check this out.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and...
But I prefer this, the click over the voice. But the voice is kind of funny. When I first heard it, I was like rolling. But anyway, so that's the DB88. It has loops. It has built-in settings where you can actually make a program and have that particular tempo set up for you. So this has a lot of bells and whistles on it, but definitely worth the price I paid. So that's the DB88.